I need you to listen to me like your life depends on it, because it does. I ain't here to entertain you. I'm here to wake you up. I came to tell you something most people will never say to your face. Your weak feelings are killing your destiny. Build emotional intensity. Yeah, I said it. Your feelings are soft. They're fragile. They break under pressure. And you keep letting them drive your life like they know where you're going. But let me tell you something. Your purpose don't care how you feel. Your future ain't waiting for you to get in the mood. And greatness don't respond to emotions. It responds to decisions. Challenge the audience. That you keep checking your feelings before you check your vision. You wake up and ask yourself, do I feel like grinding today? Do I feel like getting up? Do I feel like staying focused? Listen to me. The moment you let feelings become the CEO of your life, your dream got fired. Call to listen and commit to the message. Oh, if you're ready, really ready to stop being a slave to moods and start being a master of your mission, you better lock in right now. Don't scroll, don't click out, don't daydream. Because by the end of this message, you won't just be inspired, you'll be armed. I'm not here to make you feel good. I'm here to help you kill your weak feelings and walk into the power you were born with. Let me break it down for you. Your feelings, those soft, fragile, fleeting emotions, you're giving them way too much power. You keep letting temporary feelings make permanent decisions, and that's the problem. That's why you're not where you could be, because every time it gets hard, every time it gets uncomfortable, every time you don't feel like it, you pull back, you quit, you disappear. But I came here to tell you the truth. Weak feelings are temporary, but purpose is eternal. You don't get to your calling by doing what feels good. You don't reach your destiny by listening to every emotion that passes through your head. Now you reach greatness when you wake up in the morning and say, whether I feel like it or not, I'm doing what I was born to do. See, I've been there. I know what it's like to feel empty. I know what it's like to be tired, to not feel like speaking, to not feel like working, to not feel like pushing. But guess what? The people who are winning in life, they're not winning because they're in the mood every day. They're not consistent because they feel good every morning. They win because they've made a decision to honor their assignment even when their emotions don't line up. You got to stop waiting on a feeling and start moving in your calling. You hear what I'm saying? Some of you are losing because you keep trying to feel your way to the top. That's not how this works. Purpose doesn't care how you feel. Discipline don't wait for emotions. Destiny don't knock twice because you had a bad day. You keep saying, I'll start when I feel better. No, you start now. And your feelings will catch up later. You show up to the gym when you're tired. You write the business plan when you're discouraged. You pray, you study, you grind, even when your feelings are nowhere to be found. Because purpose, it's bigger than you. It's bigger than how you feel right now. Purpose is what you were created for. And the more you delay it for the sake of comfort, the more you bury your gift. How many times have you let feelings cancel what you were supposed to do? How many times have you said, I don't feel like it, and that one line cost you growth, cost you opportunity, cost you your next level? You've got to stop letting emotions lead your life like they know where they're going. They don't. Emotions are real, yes, but they are not always right. You hear me? I'm not saying ignore them. I'm saying don't let them lead. You don't owe your emotions leadership. You owe your vision leadership. Let me say this to somebody who needs to hear it. Your feelings are valid, but they're not in charge. Your destiny is, your calling is, the reason you were born, the impact you're supposed to make, the legacy you're building. That's what's in charge now. You've been letting comfort guide you when it was supposed to be conviction. You've been sitting down on your dream talking about how you don't feel inspired. You think everybody up at 4 a.m. grinding feels inspired? No, they're not chasing a feeling. They're chasing vision. They're chasing what they saw when no one else could see it. And the truth is, your weak feelings aren't just costing you success. They're costing you respect from others, sure, but more importantly from yourself. You don't trust you. You don't believe in you. Because every time things get hard, you fold. You say one thing, but when it's time to execute, your emotions write a different story. So now's the time to take that power back. Now's the time to get your emotions to fall in line. You don't wait for the feeling to show up. You show up and the feeling follows. You got to get to the place where the mission is louder than the mood. You wake up tired, but the mission speaks. You get rejected, but the mission speaks. You feel insecure, but the mission reminds you, we're not done. We haven't finished. Get up and go again. I'm trying to help somebody understand that your future is on the other side of your obedience, not your feelings. Every time you honor your purpose, even when your emotions say not today, you get stronger, you build discipline, you build resilience, you kill the weakness and birth the winner. Because when purpose gets in your blood, feelings become background noise. And you stop asking, do I feel like it? And start saying, this is what I do. You don't ask the weather how you're going to perform. You don't ask your body. You don't ask your mood. You ask the mission. And the mission says, keep going. So from this moment forward, you make a decision. Feelings will no longer run your life. Purpose will. Vision will. Legacy will. You were not born to be controlled by moods. You were born to shift atmospheres, to change generations, to walk heavy in the earth. And if you're ever going to become who you were called to be, you better learn to do it, even when you don't feel like it. Because feelings are fleeting, but purpose is forever. Let me be real with you. Some of y'all have been living in survival mode so long, you started thinking that's all there is. You've gotten used to just making it, just getting by, just existing. You've accepted a version of life that's way beneath your potential. And the crazy part, you think that's normal. You think that's what life is supposed to be like. But let me tell you something. You weren't born just to survive. You were born to live in significance. You were born to build something. You were born to leave something. And weak feelings will never let you get there. You know what survival mode sounds like? Let me just get through the day. I'll do it later. As long as I'm comfortable. You've been feeding yourself those lines and they sound harmless, but every time you choose comfort over calling, you get further from who you're supposed to be. Weak feelings will always keep you stuck in the shallow end. You know you've got deep potential. You know there's more inside of you, but you keep making shallow choices because you're listening to the wrong voice. The voice of fear, the voice of doubt, the voice of laziness, the voice that says, don't do too much, you might fail. The voice that says, play it safe, don't take risks. And you wonder why you feel unfulfilled. You're not hungry anymore. You're just trying to stay full. You're not chasing greatness. You're chasing comfort. You're not driven by mission. You're driven by mood. And that's why you can't rise. That's why you can't lead. That's why nothing's changing. Because you're letting weak feelings put chains around your growth. Every time you choose survival over significance, you trade power for pity. You give up leadership for laziness. And listen to me. There's no reward for staying in your comfort zone. None. There's no trophy for playing small. There's no breakthrough for those who back down. You've got to get to the point where you're sick of surviving, where you're tired of being tired, where you're done explaining why you're not where you know you could be. Because until you get there, you'll keep settling. You'll keep hiding. You'll keep calling fear wisdom and calling procrastination patience. Stop lying to yourself. You know you've got more in you. You know it. That's why you feel that tension. That's why you feel that frustration. It's not life being unfair. It's life trying to wake you up. It's your potential screaming, we didn't come this far just to settle. But here's the truth. Weak feelings won't let you hear that voice. They drown it out. They convince you that it's better to be safe than to try. They convince you that comfort is peace, but it's not. It's prison. A quiet prison with soft pillows and no growth. See, significance doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't show up just because you're talented. It doesn't come because you want it. It comes because you work for it. You grind for it. You sacrifice for it. But survival mode won't let you make sacrifices. It'll always whisper, just rest a little more. Don't put yourself out there. Don't try something new. And you keep listening to that voice, and that voice is stealing years from your life. Let me tell you how I know some of y'all are living in survival. You're avoiding challenge. You're dodging pressure. You don't want to be uncomfortable. And guess what? Growth is uncomfortable, but it's also undeniable. You cannot evolve without effort. You cannot win without work. You want a powerful life? You want legacy? You want to inspire people? You want to wake up fulfilled? Then kill those weak feelings that say just survive. Kill the part of you that's okay with average. That's okay with waiting. That's okay with being a background character in your own life story. You were born to lead, born to impact, born to stand out. But weak feelings will always tell you to blend in, to sit down, to wait your turn. Nah, this is your turn. This is your moment. But you can't walk in it until you decide that survival is not your standard anymore. The people who rise, the people who make noise, the people who change the world, they don't ask, how do I feel today? They ask, what am I called to do today? They don't look for comfort. They look for purpose. They don't hide from pressure. They step into it. And I need you to understand this. There's somebody out there who needs the version of you that's walking in significance, not survival. Somebody's waiting on the business. Somebody's waiting on the book. Somebody's waiting on the message, the movement, the solution that only you carry. But they won't see it if you keep hiding behind weak feelings. You've got to kill that hesitation. Kill that fear. Kill that what if. Kill that I'm not ready. You're ready. You're just scared. And fear is a liar. You don't need to feel confident. You need to move anyway. You don't need all the answers. You just need one yes. You don't need everyone to support you. You just need to support yourself long enough to take the first step. Because here's what I know. The moment you stop choosing survival, your life will shift. The moment you stop listening to feelings and start moving with faith, things will break open. Doors will open. Strength will rise up in you that you didn't even know you had. But nothing changes if you don't kill what's killing you. And survival mode, it's killing you slowly, silently, comfortably. So today is the day. Make the decision. No more weak feelings. No more safe living. No more maybe tomorrow. You were not built to survive the day. You were built to dominate it. Let's get one thing straight. You are not a slave to how you feel. You are not some powerless, helpless person just drifting through life at the mercy of your emotions. I don't care what you've been through. I don't care what they told you. I don't care how long you've been carrying it. You are not a victim of your feelings. You are a master of your response. See, weak feelings only win when you let them run the show. And too many of us, we've been giving those weak feelings the keys to the car, letting them drive, letting them decide when we show up, how hard we work, who we become. You think you're being authentic when you follow your feelings, but what you're really being is inconsistent, unreliable, unaccountable. You're using how you feel as an excuse not to be who you said you were going to be. But I'm telling you right now, you've got more control than you think. You have the power to choose how you respond every single time. You might not be able to control what comes at you. You can't stop the pain. You can't avoid every setback, but you can control what you do next. You can choose to fight. You can choose to show up. You can choose to stay locked in even when everything around you is trying to break you down. And I get it. Life hits. Life gets heavy. Emotions rise up and try to cloud your mind, your judgment, your grind. But this is what separates average from elite. The ability to feel it and still respond with discipline. Still respond with faith, still respond with focus. That's where the real power is. You don't become great because you never feel weak. You become great because you train yourself to respond like a warrior, even when you feel like a victim. Some of you, you've got all the talent in the world, but your reactions are ruining your opportunities. You've got the dream, the idea, the gift, but every time you feel discouraged, you shut down. Every time someone disrespects you, you react with emotion. Every time the plan doesn't go how you thought it would, you fold. You react instead of respond. You panic instead of plan. And now you're living a life that's less than what it could be, not because you lack ability, but because you never learned how to master your emotions. Listen to me. You don't get to run from responsibility just because you feel a certain way. You don't get to quit on your vision just because you're in your feelings. You can cry and still show up. You can hurt and still keep going. You can be afraid and still move forward. That's what separates the disciplined from the disappointed. You've been saying things like, I can't help it. That's just how I am. No, that's how you've been trained. That's what you've allowed. But now it's time to retrain your mind. Time to retrain your response. You are not your failings. You are not your failure. You are not your fear. You are the one in the driver's seat. And it's time to take back the wheel. See, feelings change. Moods shift. Emotions come and go. But decisions, they build foundations. Habits, they build discipline. And when you decide that no matter what you feel, you're going to stay locked in, now you're dangerous. Now you're unstoppable. Because the enemy can throw anything at you and you still standing. You still pushing. You're still consistent. That's what success looks like. It's not always loud. It's not always exciting. Sometimes it's boring. Sometimes it's painful. Sometimes it feels lonely. But when you respond the right way in the dark, you win in the light. When you choose to respond with character, with grit, with discipline, even when you don't feel like it, that's when you grow. That's when your name starts getting mentioned in rooms you haven't even walked into yet. Don't get it twisted. This isn't about pretending like nothing bothers you. This isn't about becoming cold or heartless. No, it's about choosing how you let it affect you. You can feel everything and still stay focused. You can get knocked down and still get back up. You can be tired and still show up like a champion. Let me make this plain. Discipline is the assassin of weak emotions. Every time you choose discipline over impulse, you're killing the thing that's been killing you. You're breaking the cycle. You're becoming stronger. You're becoming sharper. You're becoming someone who can be trusted, not just by others, but by yourself. And that's where real confidence comes from. Not from hype, Not from likes, not from how many people follow you, but from knowing you can count on yourself when it counts most. You want to win, you want to be respected, you want to build a legacy, then you've got to get to the place where you're not moved by everything you feel. You've got to get to the place where your discipline drowns out your doubt, where your response is rooted in vision, not emotion, where you stop reacting like a child and start responding like a king, like a queen, like someone who knows they've got something greater to build. Every day is a chance to train your response. Every challenge is a chance to prove to yourself that you've grown, that you don't fall for the same traps, that you don't collapse under the same pressure, that you've leveled up mentally, emotionally, spiritually, that you don't need to feel right to do right. So no more saying, that's just how I feel. From this day forward, you lead with principle, not pity. You lead with purpose, not panic. You lead with the version of you that's going to build something that lasts, not the version of you that keeps playing small when it gets hard. Your response is your responsibility. Your reaction is your reputation. So decide right now. Weak feelings don't control me. I choose how I move. I choose how I rise. I choose how I finish. Because I'm not a slave to emotion. I'm a master of response. And let me tell you something that might shake you up a little. You are already equipped. You're not waiting on some magical moment. You're not waiting for another degree, another person to believe in you, another green light to get started. Everything you need to begin walking in your purpose, you already have. The question is, will you use it or will you keep making excuses? See, weak feelings will try to convince you that you're not ready. They'll whisper, you're not smart enough. You're not strong enough. You don't have what it takes. And if you listen long enough, you'll start to believe it. You'll start shrinking. You'll start hesitating. You'll start calling your potential a dream instead of treating it like a responsibility. But I came to tell you it's already in you. You've already been prepared. Now it's time to activate what's inside of you. You've got ideas sitting in your notebook that were meant to be out in the world. You've got gifts sitting on the shelf because your feelings told you it wasn't the right time. But here's the truth. Your destiny is not on pause. Time doesn't wait. Opportunity doesn't wait. The world won't slow down for you to feel ready. If you're waiting for perfect timing, you'll be waiting the rest of your life. You don't need more signs. You need more action. Every time you hesitate, every time you let fear talk you out of it, every time you sit on your gift because of how you feel, you're robbing the world of what you were sent to give. And more importantly, you're robbing yourself of the life you were born to live. You keep saying, I'm just waiting for clarity. No, you're not. You're waiting for comfort. You're waiting for the fear to disappear. And I hate to break it to you, it's not going anywhere. And you got to move anyway. You don't grow by watching from the sidelines. You grow by stepping into the arena, bloody, bruised, uncertain, but committed. And when you move, you find out that you're stronger than you thought. You discover strength you didn't know you had. You discover courage that's been hiding underneath the excuses. But that strength doesn't show up while you're sitting still. It shows up when you step out, when you go forward, even when your feelings are telling you to turn back. Some of you have been praying for a sign, but your actions don't match your prayers. You say you want to be used, but you don't pick up the tools. You say you want to change the world, but you won't change your habits. You say you're ready for more, but you keep feeding the mindset of less. You can't speak abundance with a scarcity spirit. You can't say I'm chosen and then keep choosing fear every time it's time to move. I need you to understand this. Weak feelings will always create false limitations. They will build a fake ceiling over your life. But when you choose bold action over weak emotions, you shatter that ceiling. You start moving like you belong in the room. You start speaking like your voice matters. You stop apologizing for being called. You stop shrinking for the comfort of others. You stop waiting for someone to give you permission because purpose already did. You don't need validation when you have vision. You don't need applause when you have assignment. Stop trying to feel qualified and start walking in obedience. The weight you're feeling isn't just pressure, it's power. You've been carrying something great, and your weak feelings are trying to convince you it's too heavy. But you were built for this. You were designed to carry what you're carrying, and if you keep doubting your strength, you'll never discover it. Look, confidence doesn't come before the action, it comes after. You don't wait to feel bold, you act boldly, and confidence follows. That first step might be shaky, that first move might feel uncertain, but that's when you lean into your training. That's when you lean into discipline. That's when you lean into your why. Because your feelings will scream, stop, but your why will whisper, keep going. And don't get it twisted. There will always be resistance. Anytime